Hello, welcome everybody. This is Primoz Lazar here with Pablo Gonzalez. So we are here in my business program, okay, the program that I have designed to help the entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, to have great, strong foundations so they can increase their business performance. And me and Pablo are long friends. We know each other for less than a year right now, and we've been working on the development of his business. So we are going to go through the main fundamentals of his business idea, his business vision, and business plan. Okay, so Pablo, we ready to begin?
Absolutely, man. I'm pumped to be doing this with you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So tell me about your brand, first of all, okay? What presents your brand? What do you stand for, and onwards?
Yeah, my brand is really all about representing the ability to grow through others, right? So the importance of building your network, human connection, and creating community, right? So network, human connection, community are definitely brand characteristics. That all leads to growth, right? So growing your influence, growth hacking. And then also a big part of human connection is that it's one of the biggest sources of happiness and fulfillment. So happiness and fulfillment are also parts of my brand characteristics as well.
Yeah, I got it, definitely. And of course, man, you are a great networker, okay? So you've been networking and building your audience, I mean, the network for a while, okay? But just recently you came to an idea that you will put everything into the great practice and build a product out of all that you have been working on. So first question that I ask you is, what's going to be your goal? What's going to be your ultimate achievable goal that's going to satisfy you the most? Could you describe me the idea of what you want to achieve?
Yeah, definitely, Primoz. And thank you, right? I have been obsessed with human connection for a long time. I've been growing my network, and it's added a lot to my life in different ways. And in this last year, since you and I met, I've been really working hard at figuring out how to monetize that in a genuine way where I don't feel like I'm selling out and I'm really just adding more and more value to the world. So really my long-term goal is to prove to the world that the future of business development is community creation.
Good.
In order to do that, I need to create a revenue stream that will do two things for me. Number one, allow me to live and reinvest in marketing to grow my personal brand so I can get on stages and become a keynote speaker within the next 10 years at a profitable amount. And two, I need to be able to monetize these things that I am preaching about, because in order to be a keynote speaker, you either have to have gone through an extraordinary experience or you have to have proven absolute mastery in something that's relevant to something that will affect other people's lives positively. So I'm working on that latter piece and hoping that first part comes. And my immediate revenue goal is I'd like to get to an EBITDA, an earnings before interest and taxes, of $30,000 per month. So have my company profiting at a net profit of $30,000 per month.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be our goal. And of course, beside of all of other benefits, okay, we got this financial goal, of course. So we broke it down, yeah, and we needed to look backwards, okay, of how you will achieve this in probably 1 or 2 years time or however, okay, and we decided that the first month you will be experiencing this new journey with your existing client and proving your business model and so on. Yeah, can you describe me the strategy of how you're going to achieve 30K a month profit?
Yeah, man. And first of all, I just want to say, right, like I say 30K a month profit right now, so like certainly, but if you and I hadn't gone through this exercise, that number would have never been in my head. The achievability of it, I don't think would have been in my head. So first I got to give you credit for the fact that I see this number very, very clearly. And this process that we're about to describe of making milestones and what we're going through has really been the blueprint that has really unlocked my belief in doing this thing. So I just wanted to put that out there, man.
It cleared your vision, you got it more clearer, of how to really come there. And probably now you can avoid all the other obstacles and stuff because you know what you are working for.
Yeah, there's a saying here in the U.S. that when it comes to sports, or specifically when shooting a basketball, I've heard it, when it's that you say aim small, miss small, right? So you don't want to be shooting at just the hoop in general. You want to be shooting at a point where the net touches the rim on the background, and if you hit that with the ball, the closer you get to that, the better, right? So I think what this has been able to make me do is aim real specific to exactly what I want to be doing. And by being able to be very clear on that, all of the anxiety and all of like the white space of everything else I could be doing just very easily becomes less important. And I'm much more laser focused, man. And ever since we started doing this, it's been totally different for me, as you've seen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so we said you want to have four clients in January, which is 6 months from now. Okay. Now you got one, and you can add each month one, because it's not really hard for you. But of course, your product needs to be established and good and proven, which you are doing right now. And yeah, and then in 1 year time, you will come to 10 to 12 clients, and in 2 years time, you will achieve your destination. Okay, because our goal is to be adding one client per month. Okay, that's your sales strategy.
Yeah, totally, man. And so to break down those milestones a little bit, right? We talked right when I had landed my first client, right? We started putting this down as I was landing my first client, and we had basically said to ourselves that, July and August would be all about making sure that that thing I'm delivering is very good, right? So I'm actually feeling really confident. I hadn't looked back at this until we're doing this call right now, but I'm feeling really confident that right now I'm getting into that point where I have that product dialed in. We're just started August, and I'm about to go into heavy business development mode, right? Because I feel like I have the operation, the product piece sufficient. So then the next 6 months for me, the next 4 months for me, 4 to 6 months, I guess, is going to be to land an average of one client per month. And what I'm doing is, I'm taking care of my client, and I'm about to go to this podcast movement conference where I'm going to network the room. I've got my product keyed in, and now I'm going to go to this conference next week now that my product is set up. And that's going to be a big top of funnel entry point for me. I'm going to network that room. I'm going to try to get on 100 podcasts so that I am now reaching all these other audiences. So I expect that from that big outreach, I have this success story that's happening. I have a high level client. From that big outreach, I should have an incoming of, another 20, 30 really good leads that I can then close the next 4 in the next, 4 to 5 months.
Definitely.
Once I get there, and what I've told myself is essentially my product is $2,300 a month, my service. So right now, $2,300 a month, man, and this is real entrepreneurship, right? Like between my wife's salary and my $2,300 a month, we are basically breaking even on our living costs, right? So I'm not struggling. I'm not coming from a place of scarcity, but now the next $2,300 that hit, I'm going to reinvest into my business. I'm not going to try to increase my lifestyle. I'm going to reinvest into my business. I'm going to get a couple of VAs to do some of the things that, can free me up to really start closing this next round of leads that are going to come from the podcast that I'm going to be on. And that's the next phase, right? The next 4 clients is about growing a team with that revenue. And then after that, it's going to be bringing in as many clients as possible for the following year after that.
Perfect, man. That's a very good plan, and it sounds good. It's pretty clear, man. It's going to work out. So amazing. That's very good. Okay. We got this vision set now. What's tell us more about who's your ideal client. What's their problem? So so we know who we are dealing with.
Yes. Again, when we first started this exercise and you and me were talking, and I'm like, my ideal client is any business that has business owners as a client, right? Too abstract. Now what I've realized is my ideal client is somebody that has a service-based business and is establishing or has established a personal brand. And that person is the type of person that then puts out a book or has a YouTube channel or has other things where he's growing a following. And he wants to go from taking his client offer as from a high ticket client thing where he serves people that pay him $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 per contract to having 500, 1,000 people paying him $50 a month for a group coaching kind of scenario. And then another group of people that are paying him around $1,000 a month for a mastermind kind of service.
Good, man.
And these are people that are incentivized by two things. One is growing their impact, right? So instead of only serving the people that can pay them 20, 30,000 bucks for a contract, they want to serve a lot of people because they feel like they have a lot to give. And two, they're looking to grow their personal brand. So they need content in order to do that. And what this is all doing, all these groups, these communities that build for them, is a very turnkey way to create all this content around everything that they're doing that can then be turned into an email list, that can then be turned into an Instagram feed, into a YouTube, into a podcast, stuff like that.
Makes sense. And so you provide them with a great foundation to do exactly that. Okay. For the content and for, of course, a huge following that follows them and learns from that person and stuff like that. And so tell me now what comes within this offer, okay, that you do to the ideal client, to that business owner, to the influencer. What comes with the offer?
Sure.
What's the product that you do for them?
Sure. My product is called BYOC, Build Your Own Community. And the high level of it is, if you can organize your customer base into a community and bond them to each other, and then create some kind of stage that you can leverage for the good of that community and for the good of your business, then you've got new revenue streams, then you've got perfect things for branding, then you have a way that will reduce your customer churn. It'll reduce the amount of customers that enter your attention sphere and leave it, right? Like it gets them much more engaged. So what my service does is takes your customers, turns them into a community, creates ongoing scalable revenue by being able to leverage that community in order to provide value to everybody else, to the rest of your customer base and people that want to be your customers but can't afford you.
Great. Yes. So you basically help them to scale their impact with running of their own mastermind. Okay. And
Correct.
You help them to generate the passive income, of course, with having all those people paying them a membership. Go a little bit more specific in what's included, okay? Because we talked about it, like bi-weekly call, and you onboard those customers and stuff like that. And
yeah. So the first thing we need to do is look at what impact you're trying to create, right? Like, what is your message? Who are the people that you serve? Once we figure that out, then we design a program that is able to bring those people together and get your message out. So the first thing is really a high level kind of a branding exercise that we do. Then the best thing to do is we're going to pick out of your community, out of your network, we pick out the 5 or 6 people that are the best options to start this with. And we make an offer to them that they're going to get a ton of value by being a part of this mastermind, moderated by you, connections with each other, be able to leverage your stage so that we can bring them in. And I onboard those people. I sell them into the idea, right? It's not a monetary ask, but I convince them of the idea. I get their buy-in, and then I start the program. So at the top of the program, there's going to be this mastermind. There's going to be a group of people that the founding members is free, but the rest that are going to want to join in will be monetized, that we schedule twice a month calls that goes through a certain format that includes you delivering some content that I curate and I put together for them to make happen. And then we go into a question and answer support group type scenario where all we're doing is one person asks for help, another person helps. And that is a really, really quick way to get people to bond from each other. Then from that group, we create a group below it of your engaged audience, right? Not necessarily your customers, or maybe it's your customers, or past customers, people you want to get in front of, people that just connect with your message, but maybe can't afford your services. And we design the information flow that you can give them at small bites to be able to teach them what you're doing, teach them a little bit about the people you're working with in this group, and also teach them a little bit about what the people you're working with, what they know and what they have to offer and what they're learning from you. So we create this ecosystem that creates a customer escalation ladder through these calls, through a monthly coaching, and through the way that you disseminate the content from up here, down here, and the way that everybody starts to interact. And that leads to eventually to live events.
Wow, awesome, man. So it's a great value circulation method or something. So yeah,
it
man.
is. It's like what Gary Vee talks about, making pillar content, right? Like it is a systematic way to make pillar content that pays you.
Wow, I see. I can see that. So, and you already described a little bit how do you actually deliver this to them? Yeah? Can you add on this a little bit more? How do you actually deliver this product to the client, and just quickly go through the steps? And
Sure.
you went already through them anyway, because you said you onboard those 6 characters and then all. I mean, maybe we don't even need to go much into this anymore. What do you think?
I'll do it real quick. I'll do a bullet point, right? Design the program, onboard the founding members, create the group below, and then start curating the content that's going to be distributed in the way that we designed it. That's really the 4 steps.
That's a
and
short.
And moderate all the calls, right?
Definitely, of course, you do that. Yeah. So, what kind of team of supporters or co-workers do you need yourself to produce and deliver your offer? I know that your business is not very typical, so you don't need like team of 10 people or whatever, but you need some assistance. Yeah, assistance.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, the stuff that's slowing me down the most is looking through the things that we've already done. Looking through the content and organizing it in a way that's easy to distribute. So the first person I want to bring on is somebody that every time I do a call, every time we do something, I send it to that person and they make an outline. Ideally it is a video editor / graphic design person also. But what they're going to end up doing is, going through the videos and making timestamps of like, this is what was discussed. This is the breakdown of that, and make like specific outlines that we can make and then the next piece is, if that's not the same person, the next piece is to bring a video editor that can then make all this, take it from the raw content to the shareable content relatively quickly. That's the first skill set that I want. After that, and a personal assistant that will be setting up my appointments and managing my calendar and stuff like that, so I can show up and deliver. That's basically the two roles I need. As it starts to grow, I will be able to use more of those, more of the content editing and putting out people. I will also want, I'll still have one person managing my calendar, and then I'll start bringing in group moderators. Once I have moderated the group for a certain amount of time, I can hand it off to someone to just kind of like seamlessly keep it going.
Because you will have like many groups to moderate, many clients. I mean, so too much work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that leads us, to the end goal, which is having 20 clients a month, and you and your team will be able to deliver that. And with saying so, we will go through the financial plan a little bit right now. We'll not spend too much time there, because it's clear in your mind already. But actually, you want to have 20 clients, and each paying 2.3K. Okay, that's 46 grand a month revenue. That's not a profit. So you will have some expenses. Tell me more about the expenses that you will have on a monthly basis to operate your business. Help yourself.
Yeah, I think I'll have around the $500 software cost per month, a $250 utilities cost. This is a home-based business, so I'm running it out of my own home. I don't really need an office. I want to start attending more conferences and attending more events. So I'm going to put in $1,000 for conference tickets per month, $1,000 in travel expenses. I think for $3,000 a month, I can get a pretty talented VA staff. I can get that assistant, I can get that video editor and a couple of other. And then I'd like to be spending $9,000 a month in advertising. If I can be spending $300 a month in digital media distribution from all the content that I'm making, then I think I will always have a steady stream of income / I will be building my own personal my own personal brand that will then be monetized in speaking engagements and things like that.
Yeah, and you can sell to that audience as well some other products that you will develop anyway, Good.
Correct.
So, regarding to sales for your business, it's not that complicated, because your job is to get only one sale a month, happening, It's not like one sale a day, and then you need to do as many blah, blah, blah every day. But if you want to get one client a month in, you already said that you will expand your network at every event. Okay, daily you are already doing many interviews and many podcasts, and you network so much, so you already got that flow of activity, of course, to get that one sale a month. Okay, especially now when you prove that your product is awesome and stuff like that, you can do that. You can be a moderator for great influencers. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree, man. So it's already kind of, my growth strategy. Like I definitely want to be aggressive in the sense that I keep growing my network, but just, it's already starting to happen, right? I just got introduced to a couple of people that do services a little bit upstream for me, right? So I just got introduced to someone that does branding for this kind of person. So if someone like this is rebranding, then their next step is, okay, what else? Now that I have this brand, how do I monetize it, right? So it's this. I just got introduced to somebody who does podcasts for people like these. Like he does the podcast for them. So if they have a podcast, they're probably going to be advertising to some kind of mastermind group, something like this, that I can handle for them, and I can help them steer. So that's already kind of starting to happen, man. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, definitely. And imagine now, Pablo, all right, an exercise for you, okay? So if you meet a potential client right now, okay, which you will, okay, and you're a great, your pitch is amazing and stuff like that because you're a great opener, okay? So what would you say to that person in a short period of time to introduce them to the value that you got, and what can you do for them? What would be your pitch, or a call pitch, or even a face-to-face pitch for them?
Sure. I would say, my normal go-to move is when I meet people, I tell them that I am working on proving that community creation is the future of business development, and then they want to know more, right? And then they get into that. If I'm like prospecting a client and we're getting into X's and O's kind of stuff, my pitch would say, Are you trying to grow your personal brand, and are you having issues creating content around it? Yes or no? Do you feel that now that you've become, this big deal, you're getting all these big client contracts, but you really want to get your knowledge more out there and increase your impact?
Good.
And then I also say, have you ever thought about having events and having a customer escalation ladder for people to join that aren't just your $20,000, $30,000 client, but people that can join in at bite-sized portions and move them up? And if you're interested in any of those three things, I can help you with it. And the way I do it is by forming a community.
Very good. And as you could see, okay, you already moved to the second phase, all right, of the sales process. The first phase, of course, is a pitch, okay, quick value proposition, what do you do? But then you moved into the second phase already with saying to me those questions. So these are the qualifying questions, okay, that you introduced to us already right now. So because you need to ask them, of course, the qualifying questions so you can see if they're the right person to work with. Okay. Mm-hmm. So those were the qualifying questions. Okay. Do you want to have a specific presentation actually in place so you can easily? I'm not sure if you got it already right now because you didn't go through many onboarding processes or the presentation. Do you want to have one? I mean, kind of like PDF document or PowerPoint?
Yeah, I should absolutely have one. Yeah, for sure. I want to have one.
Yeah, good. That's going to be the next thing, because then you, of course, you present to them and then you close. All right. So do you have any closing questions in your mind right now? I think we didn't go through that, but what would you say to somebody? Oh, maybe like, are you ready to begin? Okay, do you feel like that's for you? Or?
Man, I don't know, right? Like I've kind of told you this before, and I'm a little ashamed of it, but I'm a world class opener and a mediocre closer, bro. So yeah, I think my close would, the close would be, when are we going to get started scaling your impact? When are we going to get started creating a recurring revenue stream for you, man? So you don't have to live and die with all these $20,000, $30,000 contracts.
And don't worry, man. You already usually do the job before anyway, because you build great relationship, and of course, you introduce your value and stuff like that. So no problem with that.
Thank you.
Maybe few more questions, like where do you intend to get? No, we already talked about that. These new clients, okay? What's your marketing channels?
I want to do basically what I preach, man. I want to get on other people's stages. I think stages are the most valuable things in the world, right? So my marketing channels right now are get on as many podcasts as I can, so as many people hear about me as possible, and go to conferences. Those are really my two main marketing channels. I have ideas of marketing channels for growing my personal brand on like LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn can be effective, right? Like I think I can do a good outreach of like professional coaches, like business coaches and authors and stuff like that on LinkedIn. But that's probably phase 2. Right now I'm trying to stick to the stuff that I know, which is person to person opportunities.
Amazing. Yeah. So the final conclusion, it all comes down to networking, okay, professionally. So
Hey
tell us
man,
a quick inspiration.
I learned in those, yeah, in those entrepreneurial conferences that I went to start the year, where like we met at one of them. And the recurring message is, if you're gonna build a business around doing something you love doing within that business, or else go get a job. And that is what I have pushed really, really hard against. My parents thinking I'm crazy, my wife thinking, I don't know if we have enough runway to do this. My friends thinking, dude, you're so talented. Why don't you just go get a $150,000 a year salary? And it's really, that has been my driving motivator, is that I really do believe that you can. I think there's 4 steps to success. 1, figure out something that you're really good at, that you really love doing. 2, figure out how to use that to serve others. 3, figure out how to monetize that when you're serving others. And 4, build a business around it. That's it, man.
Perfect, man. And that was a really good conclusion. So thanks, Pablo, man, to doing this together, man. And we shared great value. And I think we are on a good track, because the picture is clear, man, that you are onto something, that you are on track, and it's going to start growing. It's already growing, because you proved that the product is great and so on. So congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thank you, bro. Hey, thank you for your help, man. It has been super invaluable, man. Like we entered this thing. I was just kind of like, all right, man, we met at a conference, and I approach it the same way I approach everything, where I just want to like help people out. And at first I thought I was kind of helping you out by starting your thing, but now at this point I'm like, man, this has been such a big help to me. So I'm really, I think this is the key to life, man. You never know, right? Like you keep adding value to people, and it comes back to you tenfold. So I really appreciate everything you've done for me, bro. And you're what you're doing is obviously going to succeed too, because I think you're killing it, man. You got a great product.
So how did you enjoy, guys, the conversation between me and Pablo? I think that was a ton of value, and I enjoyed so much, and Pablo enjoyed it. And I think that he's got a clear vision, and I believe that we are onto something. Okay, imagine that I can take this product which I delivered to Pablo, and I can share it with many more business owners, okay? Because you should see me and Pablo when we first started working on his business plan, or however, like 1 or 2 months ago, okay? We didn't know these questions and, answers that we were delivering to you right now, okay? And that's how the businesses operate, okay? The vision of theirs is scattered, okay? They don't have that clear intention of why they're doing it all and stuff like that. So as you could see, we did something great here, and imagine I can do this to many other business owners, and then imagine that I can help those business owners to deliver the same value to other recommendations and other affiliates. Okay, so that's how our network and community is going to grow to a huge number of business owners who interact between each other, hold each other accountable, who communicate, who sell to each other. Of course, they share services and so on. Okay, It's all about getting to the point that you can start living the premium life through our business program and some other stuff that I have prepared for you as well. Okay. I hope that you enjoyed this session, and I'll see you soon. Follow me and Pablo, and let's make it happen together. See you soon. Bye-bye.